Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm doing the new arrival video for January 2nd, 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. So you're actually watching this, on New Year's. I'm filming this New Year's Eve. There's fireworks, everything's going on around me. Things are blowing up in the background. But yeah, Happy New Year. I've got a New Year resolution I myself am going to share with you guys in a minute. But I wanted to start with, well, first off, I'm not going to do a whatnot. It's New Year's Day. I'm not going to do a whatnot today. Normally I do them every Thursday. I'm skipping this week, so no whatnot. I'll have one the following week, and then I've got my big first pressing auction for whatnot coming up. I want to say February 1st, that first Sunday in February, the week before the Super Bowl. First pressing Blue Triangle Dark Side of the Moon. I think there's a Butcher in there. There's all kinds of killer stuff. If you click the link below, you can actually see what I've got coming up. I've got about 100 items listed in that auction so far. I'm going to have a full 200, hopefully in there in the next couple of weeks. Pre-orders. Analogue Productions is bringing 10 of the original Fantasy 100 series back into print. If you guys haven't been doing this long, about 20-ish years ago, they did a Fantasy 100 series. And they stayed in print for probably well in 10 years. I mean, it was a long time. Even when I first opened up, 11 years ago, there was remnants of these things still out there of some of the lesser desirable titles. But they're bringing 10 of them back, but they're upgrading them. In the old days, the original Analogue Productions 45 RPMs were in those shitty single pocket covers. They blew up, seam splits. They were a mess. But they're bringing back 10 titles. They're putting them in a beautiful tip-on jacket, gatefold, with the matte finish. It's going to be nice. The first two should be coming next month, later on this month, in January. Chet Baker in New York and Gene Ammons Blue Jean. January. Then, relatively quickly, I think we're going to get the following 8. They're doing Wes Montgomery, A Dynamic New Sound, Bill Evans, Quintessence, Tony Bennett and Bill Evans, the Tony Bennett, Bill Evans album, Charlie Bird, The Artistry of Charlie Bird, Kenny Dorham, Quiet Kenny, Wes Montgomery's Full House, Blue Mitchell, Blues Mood, and Wynton Kelly's Kelly Blue. Same metalwork, same plates, so if you have these already and you don't care enough to upgrade for the better jacket, you're good to go. But a lot of these have been out of print for a long time. A lot of these are $200, $300 records, so most people that are buying these have probably not had a chance to pull the trigger on this as of yet. They're doing a DJ Shadow box set called the Mo-Wax Singles 1993 to 1997. That comes out May 29th. It is a very slow time of the year. I have a very few amount of records to show you guys. This is going to be a very short video. But in the next couple of weeks, things will start getting ratcheted up. But one of the majors actually didn't even ship for 3 weeks. I think they had no releases scheduled, no solicitations for a couple of weeks. So it's a slow time. Okay, my New Year's resolution. We'll start here. Check this out. This is... So I have, for the In-Groove, I have a t-shirt with 3 different designs. This logo, the one with my beautiful bald head on it, and the more jazz-oriented logo. I've been pretty terrible about having store merchandise. I've been saying for years, I need to get a bag, like an In-Groove tote. People have been asking me for a bobblehead, like an In-Groove bobblehead of me, holding a record. That's been kicking around in the back of my mind, all kinds of stuff, and I've just not done it, and it's been terrible. So my New Year's resolution is I'm really going to make a valiant effort to have a lot of store merchandise for this year. Special shirts, limited edition type stuff, just cool merch, nothing crazy because it's what most record stores have. I just haven't had it. But to start off, this is a item that's going to kick it off. For 2026, this is an In-Groove pin. Extremely nice pin. I went all out. This is like top of the line as far as pins go. I only made 200 of them and they're individually numbered of 200. So I kept 1 of 200 and 2 of 200. I'm going to give it to my kid. But I have all the other numbers. They're going to be going out at random in the store. They're $12, I think. But yeah, check it out. It's really nice. It's exciting. It's cool. I'm going to do a lot more stuff like this. So it is a polished brass button. This was like, I ticked all the boxes when it came to like all the options you can get in a button. I didn't know there was all these like fancy options, but needless to say, it's a pretty large button. This is going to be, I only made 200 of these, and in the future, when these sell out, I'm going to do like a small cheapie, like a $3, $4 type of button, you know, a small one. But this is the big guy. I'll try to put a close-up shot of it. It's on the website. Again, I only got 200 of them, and then it'll go into like a smaller, like one that I keep in stock all the time. But check it out, the In-Groove pin. Yeah. Cool. Okay, this week's new arrivals, which are mostly Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right titles. We're going to start right with the Flaming Lips Cloud Taste Metallic. This is a Rhino Reserve title, lacquers cut by Matt Luthans at the Mastering Lab. Another Rhino Reserve, we've got Sturgill Simpson, A Sailor's Guide to the Earth, also cut by Matt Luthans at the Mastering Lab. Let's see, Nas and DJ Premier Light Years. This is the indie vinyl exclusive. Now, available as a mass-produced item, you know, as opposed to the limited edition that came out on Record Store Day Black Friday, we've got the original motion picture soundtrack to rent. Celebrate the movie's 20th anniversary, available on vinyl for the first time. Kind of, because it came out for Record Store Day. This is the black vinyl version. This is Baloo Brigada, Portal, from Warner Music. Chris Lake, Chemistry. On the pin, by the way, if you go to the website, it's easy to find the listing. I have it on the very top of the page. You know, there's a banner, you know, like an announcement banner. I've got it there. The Hills Have Eyes, the original motion picture soundtrack by Don Peake. Another, well, this is labeled as a Rocktober title, but I'm pretty sure this just came out for Start Your Year Off Right. Maybe it was delayed, but it still has the Rocktober hype sticker. That is Rush, Snakes and Arrows. Same thing here, we got Rush Vapor Trails Remix, includes the Rocktober title on it. Here is another one of these weird titles. I had some of these last week. Kagey's Keep On Bumpin' and Master Plan. This is on the label Reissued Sounds. It's a green splatter disc, limited to 100 copies. I had a couple of these last week. This is number 52 of 100. Alt J, An Awesome Wave. This is a Start Your Ear Off Right title, pressed on recycled metallic vinyl. Cheap Trick, Woke Up with a Monster. This is a Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right title on limited edition opaque magenta vinyl. Todd Rundgren's Utopia, Another Live, pressed on ultra clear vinyl, cut from the original Analogue stereo tapes at Sterling Sound, and featuring the alternative UK only cover artwork. Yeah, that's the only one of these that mentions it's specifically Analogue, but there we go. You know, I made fun of this last time because it came out as a box set for maybe, not Black Friday, but Record Store Day, maybe last year's Record Store Day. But here it is as individual titles. Steve Martin, Comedy Is Not Pretty. Start Your Ear Off Right. Let's Get Small. I will say, one of the very first records I ever had was A Wild and Crazy Guy. This one right here, with King Tut on it. It was great, you know. But this was before you could just easily go on YouTube and watch comedy. You know, I had it on this record and it was hilarious. And the Steve Martin Brothers. All Analog, cut from the original master tape by Kip. No, I'm just joking. This is not. No. It's just recorded at the Cocktail Show in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Comedy Store in Hollywood, California. Another title that says it's Rocktober, but I feel like this was a push to Start Your Ear Off Right. Rush, Feedback, 12-inch, the EP. Charles Weasley Godwin, live from the Steel City. Part of the reason this is a very light week is most of this week, there's no shipping taking place. Like, in order to get something from the East Coast to the West Coast, it would have had to been sent 2-day air, I think, last Friday, because UPS isn't delivering most days because the holiday falls smack dab in the middle of the week. So I think next week is going to be a real solid new arrival week. There's going to be a lot of titles because we're going to get a lot of leftover stuff from this week. And if you follow the website, more stuff will pop out later in the week. Thalia, Arsarondo. This is the 25th anniversario version of this record on the Universal Music Latino label. Thalia and Exitis. This is the 30th anniversario version. For being a record, God, this doesn't look like a cover from 30 years ago because it looks heavily computerized there. And Thalia, El Sexto Sentido. That is it for the new arrivals. I got a couple of restocks. I've got the Johnny Griffin, a blow-in session. This is a Blue Note Classic title. Got a big restock on this. And Stan Getz and Bill Evans, the Vinyl Vital series. This is on Verve, an official Verve release. That is it, guys. Happy New Year. Yeah, slight, tiny little week here. Tiny little week. All right, guys, all this can be purchased online at theingroove.com. Until next time.